welcome to Play PKN, the weekly video bulletin of the top news stories on PKN Packaging News, Australia's media hub for the packaging industry. I'm PKN's publisher, Lindy Hewson, and this week's bulletin is brought to you by KM Packaging, specialists in high-performance lidding films and shaped pre-made pouches. In the headlines this week, US-headquartered global packaging company TricorBraun is establishing its footprint in Australia and New Zealand through the imminent purchase of Cormack Packaging, which has been manufacturing closures, such as this one, which it did for Mars Food Spice Packaging in Australia for 82 years. The transaction is expected to close at the end of September. The whole Cormack team, including Managing Director Matthew Cormack and the rest of the executive, will remain with TricorBraun. The team will continue to work out of the company's existing locations across Australia and New Zealand. Effective with the closing of the transaction, which as we mentioned will be hopefully the end of September, Cormack will operate as Cormack Packaging, a TricorBraun company. In other news, Endeavour Group, the drinks division recently spun off from Woolworths Group, has rolled out a beer can clip reuse and recycling program in selected BWS and Dan Murphy's stores, becoming the first Australian retailer to initiate a circular scheme for the waste item. The program is in partnership with Independent Brewers Association, East Coast Canning, Visy Recycling and PackTech, and allows customers to place their used can clips, like these ones, in collection units at BWS and Dan Murphy stores. The clips will then be picked up by local independent breweries such as All In Brewing in Brisbane, Willie the Boatman in Sydney and Temple Brewing in Melbourne, as well as mobile canning company East Coast Canning for reuse. Once the clips have been reused by brewers to the end of their lifespan, they are sent to Visy Recycling, where they are converted into HDPE resin, which is then returned to PackTech, the company that produces the can clips, so they can create more clips. A wonderful brewing circle. Now, brewing up a different story is Bundaberg Brewed Drinks, which has launched a 200 milliliter mini can, or slimline can as we know it, for 3 of its drinks variants. Local can maker Aurora supplies the 200 ml aluminium cans and ends, which are filled on Bundaberg's new in-house canning line supplied by Fiber King. This happened last year when Bundaberg launched its famous ginger beer in slimline cans, with over 3 million being produced since the launch, and 1 million of those over the Christmas period alone. Consumers are voting for the mini can. From soft drinks to confectionery, the Ferrero group has introduced a new polypropylene eco-design box for its iconic Ferrero Rocher range, which should save approximately 2,000 tons of plastics globally within the first year of its launch. We can expect to see the new PP box in Australia by Christmas. To create the new box, the R&D team at Ferrero trialled over 29 different plastic resins, working with leading material supplier Milliken. The new eco-design boxes, which maintain the high transparency required so that we can see these lovely chocolates, contains 40% less plastic for the 16-piece boxes like this one and 38% less plastic for the 30-piece, and will have at least 30% lower carbon footprint. This percentage impact increases when the box is recycled. Now, speaking of recycling, the federal government announced this week it will be investing $7 million into the local waste and recycling industry in regional and remote Australia. This will see the government working with the Australian Packaging Covenant organisation to explore and develop waste collection partnerships in regional and remote areas, including potentially collaborating with other product stewardship schemes. And lastly, a quick reminder. Later on today, don't miss out, the APPMA's free digital lunchtime series will be taking place. I will be facilitating a discussion by a panel of industry experts to discuss the topic Manufacturing Adapting to the New Normal. Now, joining me on the panel will be Dr. Jens Gunnemann, Managing Director of the Advanced Manufacturing Growth Centre, Brooke Donnelly, the CEO of the Australian Packaging Covenant Organisation, Tom Lunn, General Manager of Sustainability and Innovation at Detmold Group, and Dr. Peter Byrne, the Chief Policy Advisor at AI Group. Now, to register for this free event, go to the events section on the APPMA website. Don't miss out. You can go there now. You can also access the direct link which appears on the related article on our website, packagingnews.com.au. And while you're there, you may like to take a closer look at today's top stories and more. Well, that's all from me for today, folks. Thanks for watching and do stay safe.